Most parents are making one of the most important decisions of their child's life based upon what strangers are arguing about on the internet, and that needs to stop. Before you make up your mind about what I'm about to share, I want to ask you to do one thing. Stay with me all the way through. Don't jump to any conclusions in the first 2 minutes. Give this the time it deserves because your child deserves that too.
Don't go to college, just go to a trade. You're not even in a trade. You're telling people to go into a trade, you're not even in a trade. As a matter of fact, some of the people telling you that have a college degree. Do you notice super rich people never tell their kids to go into a trade? You notice that? Super rich people always send their kids to college, and they always send their kids to prestigious colleges. My biggest issue, and this is completely aside from the college is a scam thing, because that's fucking stupid, but my bigger issue with the whole you don't need to go to college, you can go to a trade shit, is you're acting as if those two things are substitutes. They are not. They are completely different pathways that will lead you to completely different outcomes in life. It's not a matter of oh, you don't have to do one, just do the other. That's not how it works. You go into a trade, you become an EMT. Somebody else goes to college, they become a neurosurgeon. Not only are those two different jobs, those are two different lifestyles. Those are two completely different pathways in life. The big one I hear is you can go to the trade, become an electrician, or you can go to college, become a fucking engineer, and make 3 times the amount as the highest earning electrician. You could go into a trade and learn HVAC and make a ton of money. Or you can go to college and become a fucking aerospace engineer. It's just, people speak about them as if the two can be replaced. They cannot.
Welcome back to Family Still Matters. I'm Deborah. And on this channel, we talk about family issues, faith, culture, trending topics as it relates to us as God-fearing individuals. Real issues that are impacting our homes and our lives every single day. I don't want to do surface level here. I want to go deep because family matters deeply to me, and I hope it does to you. Let's start with something most people in this debate completely overlook, and that is the fact that college and trade schools do not lead to the same place. A lot of the noise around the topic frames it like a simple swap, like college and trade school are 2 items on the same menu and you just pick one. But that is not how this works. These 2 paths lead to genuinely different careers, different lifestyles, and different long-term options. They are not interchangeable. An electrician and an aerospace engineer can both earn a strong living, but their day-to-day realities, their earning potential over time, and the doors open to them look very different. That is not a judgment on either path. It is just an honest observation. The problem starts when parents treat these 2 options as equal substitutes without understanding what each one actually leads to. Some will say, but people in the trades build businesses and create real wealth. And that is absolutely true. And I am so thankful that is a path for many. But building a successful business from a trade skill requires far more than the trade itself. It requires what? Financial discipline, entrepreneur thinking, and long-term vision. The same honesty applies to college. A degree alone does not produce success. What matters most is whether the person pursuing that path is genuinely wired for it and committed to where it leads. Cannot make a wise decision about their child's future without first understanding what each path actually produces. That is the foundation everything else is built on. Now let's talk about something that rarely gets brought up in this conversation, and that is the role money and family financial position play in this decision. There is an argument that gets repeated often in this debate. It goes like this: wealthy people always send their children to college, so college must be the right path. On the surface, that sounds like solid reasoning, but it does not hold up when you look at the full picture. Families with significant financial resources can send a child to a college without the weight of debt hanging over that decision. Let's think on that. That child can take time to find their footing, make mistakes, and still land well, because the foundation beneath them was already strong before they ever stepped onto a campus. That is a fundamentally different situation than a working or middle class family carrying the pressure of a major financial investment with no guarantee of return. For families without that financial foundation, the college decision requires a much higher level of intentionality about the field of study, the type of institution, the realistic outcome, and whether that path genuinely lines up with where their child is headed. Understanding your family's real financial position is not a discouraging thought. It is an empowering one. It puts the decision back in your hands where it belongs. But here is where I want to land, because this is the part that matters most of all. And that is the conversation you need to be having directly with your child. Most parents enter this decision asking one question: which path makes more money? That is an understandable place to start, but it is the wrong place to start. The better question is this: what does my child actually want their life to look like? A child who struggles in traditional academic settings is not going to suddenly thrive in a 4-year college degree program because a parent wills it to be so. A child who is intellectually driven, curious, and has a clear professional goal in mind is not going to find fulfillment being capped by the ceiling of a skilled trade. Neither outcome serves the child well. Yet, so many parents make this call based upon their own fears, their own sense of status, or the pressure of what everyone around them seems to be doing. And I say that from personal experience. In my family, higher education was not a suggestion. It was the expectation. Every member of my family was impressed upon to get a degree, and that is what we did. We passed that same standard onto our children. But looking back now, some of those children came full circle. They got the degree, they walked the path we laid out, and eventually ended up right back at the thing they loved from the beginning. But because we never stopped to ask what they actually wanted in the first place. Here is what I have observed. Children tell you who they are long before you think to ask. And that is so true. I knew from the very beginning that my son would be technologically, that was just his area. Computers. You just could see it. They show you what pulls their attention. They show you what they are willing to work at without being told. They show you what lights something up inside of them. And that is not a small thing. That is data. You hear me say data all the time. That's information. The pushback I hear most often is that children are too young to know what they want. And there is some truth to that. But there is a difference between a child not knowing every detail of their future and a parent never creating the space for that child to even begin to figure it out. Your job as a parent is to pay attention and to create space for an honest conversation, not hand them a decision already made. When a child has a voice in their own future, they commit differently. That investment in the conversation pays dividends no tuition bill or trade school certificate can replace or replicate on its own. The college versus trades debate will keep going online. Both sides have their arguments and their data, but none of that noise lives in your home. Your child does. And the decision that matters is not the one being made on social media. It is the one being made at your kitchen table with your child present and heard. Thank you so much for watching. If this conversation resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. Leave a thoughtful comment below and let me know where you stand on this topic. If it added value to your day, like the video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Again, I'm Deborah. This is Family Still Matters, and giving our children a voice in their own future matters too. May God continue to richly bless you. God bless.